Hello, guys. Yeah, welcome to interview review of SofiaDate scam site, and we have guest. He actually did his own investigation on this site, so you can listen. Very interesting story. You know how he discovered himself. You know that this is a site, so he will give you some interesting tips. So I'm inviting to the studio our guest. Hello.
Hello there. Hello. My name's Adrian. I'm from the UK and I've been on SofiaDate for about a month. And during that time, I've met two individuals who appear to be scammers, basically, and it's cost approximately 3,000, maybe slightly more US dollars.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you for agreed to volunteer to share this story, because of course it will help other guys to learn about scam site that they have to be basically stay away of. Yeah, and yeah, if you can tell your age, where do you live in UK, and what you do for living?
Yeah, I'm 65 and I live in the UK in the north of England. And I'm basically a company director, but in the process of retiring.
Wonderful. Yeah, so you believe you was scammed by per letter site, yeah? Is that correct?
Yes, both individuals that I looked at were at the start of the process normal, and we were having a normal conversation, getting to know each other, and then it became clear quite rapidly that you were being drawn into a situation with this site where, in order to talk to the individual, you had to buy credits and then spend the credits. And it depended on whether you wanted to just have a quick chat, which was 300 characters and cost a couple of credits. So it looked fairly cheap. And then they drag you into writing letters between each other. So it costs you 10 credits to read the letter. And then if you want to reply, it costs you another 30 credits. And what was happening there was these were still normal conversations, just longer, because a letter would allow you to put 4,000 characters in it. So you could actually put a narrative together and have a discussion. And this was going well over a few days. And then suddenly what I found was the lady who I was speaking to started to forget. Let's put it this way. She forgot what we talked about. And also what was very apparent is they were never off the site. So it didn't matter whether it was 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They were there most of the time. There were odd patches when they weren't, but it seemed a bit odd. So I started to look into what was going on. And what I found was quite interesting, because what they'd asked us to do is they not just write a letter to you, but they would attach photographs to it. And it costs you an extra 10 credits to open each of the photographs. Or if they sent you a video, it costs you 50 credits to open the video. Then they would encourage you to send a video back at 50 credits.
Yeah. So how much money in total you spent, and for what period of time? Can you repeat, guys?
Over a night, it wouldn't be unusual to spend 1,000 to 1,500 credits, which would be about 300 US dollars.
One night,
because, if you are having a long discussion over 6 or 7 hours, then that is suddenly how it builds up, because what they tend to do is draw you into a conversation which you want to continue, and then you realize you need more credits, so you get more credits and off you go again. And from that point of view, if they'd been a real person, there wouldn't have been a problem with this. But what was becoming apparent is I began to be suspicious of one lady who seemed to forget what she'd been talking about in the afternoon if we were talking late at night or early morning. So I began to wonder if there were multiple people actually inputting into this. So I started to look into her.
Yeah, Adrian. And how many ladies you were communicating on this site, and what ages this lady were?
Right. The lady I'm talking about is 66.
So it's about your age. It's good.
Yeah, and the other lady is 65.
Really?
So they're literally within half a year of my age group.
Yeah, and what ladies? When you register on the site, you receive some messages, of women. So they were writing,
when you register, you get a list of people who then say they've seen your profile and want to chat to you. And I think in the space of 3 weeks, I had 300 and some chat requests, most of whom were from ladies who were in their early 20s. And, wanting to know if I would meet them. And a lot of them were even more suggestive in terms of what they wanted to do on our first meeting. So from that point of view, it was obvious.
For example, excuse me.
Well, yes, I mean, it was a case of some people were saying, oh, I can fly over to your city. Now, to be honest, my profile on that site is very minimal. So they wouldn't know where I actually lived, but they were quite convinced that they could fly straight over and we could meet in a hotel and we could be in bed within an hour. And from this point of view, it was obvious that the site wasn't what it was cracked up to be effectively. I was looking for somebody long-term, a long-term relationship, someone my age. Yeah, you're completely inundated by people wanting to show you pornographic images of themselves, basically, which you'd have to pay to look at.
Yeah. So, guys, basically, ladies of 20 years old were writing to Adrian, which is, of course, not possible that lady 20 years old would be interested in such age gaps. So this is already indication of scam. Correct?
Well, they had no idea about my background or, effectively whether I was wealthy or not, because I minimized the amount of information on the site to start with. So they couldn't possibly have been thinking, oh, the guy's a millionaire, because they didn't have that information.
Yeah. And this lady that you communicated the most, she was your age, basically 66, yeah?
Yes. Both of them were one was 2 months different to me. The other one is half a year.
Yeah, let's see some profiles. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So this is basically Lady Natalia, that you communicated the most. Good-looking lady, 66. As you can see, it's pictures very beautiful, photoshopped, very tuned. And you told me that you found her in social media. Yeah, you did your investigation.
Yes, well,
you can share a little bit.
Well, once I started to be suspicious that this might not be just one individual, and certainly the photographs that she was sending in her day-to-day life, she doesn't look anything like the photoshopped images. Now, I appreciate that she's trying to look her best and it is a photo shoot. But from that point of view, she is 66, not 26. And from that point of view, what I did was I started to investigate. And what I managed to find was her original social media account for the real person, who also is called Natalia. I found her address, her real telephone number, and also details of her occupation. So from that point of view, during the conversations that I was having with this lady, I didn't tell her that. But she started to explain that she was running a beauty salon and had done for 3 years with her brother, which is interesting because the real lady doesn't have a brother and she doesn't have a beauty salon. She's actually an engineer. And I found photographs of her on her company's website. So I know that
this is
information is correct.
yeah, I want to show guys, basically this is pictures, Photoshop pictures from the site of this lady, and this is picture that you found in social media and that was sent.
Yes,
do you believe this do you believe these pictures may be taken from social media? What do you think?
This photograph is on her social media site, but it was also sent to me on this website as well. So, I mean, I've traced her to the earliest website I've found is in 2015, a Russian website, which is possible. But as you see, that is the photograph of somebody who is my age, as opposed to some of the photographs that were coming through.
Yeah, this is from Natalia. This is from social media, basically. And pictures, the same pictures from social media were sent to you, their site. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that photograph, this photograph with the bike and the one with the arm.
Yeah, tell about this. It's interesting.
Right. What I did was I actually rang her, and she, on the site, the lady I was speaking to was saying that she was having problems with high blood pressure and was currently in hospital on a drip. So I'd rung the telephone number that I'd found for her to find that the real lady was actually on holiday touring Northern Europe and was currently in Amsterdam, which is where the photograph of the bike comes in. And from that side of things, had been away for around about a week, and she was not going to be back for another 5 days. Yet the person on the site was claiming that she was in hospital.
Okay, so lady was this real lady whose pictures that we believe were stolen, right, and used for this fake profile. That's what we made the conclusion of this. So she was actually communicative with you, and she sent you even few pictures from her current trip. She was not in hospital at all, as scammer basically claimed. Yeah. Did you tell her that you found her basically in this?
I did. And we are currently in the process of discussing this because she had no idea that she was being used in this way. When I broached the subject with the scammer, they tried to initially say, oh, it was the person I was speaking to was actually their nephew, which is a bit odd since he's male and, so from that side of things, I pushed it a little further and sort of questioned where she was and what she was doing. And she explained about how she ran this beauty salon as a division of a company that her parents had set up. And throughout this, there are elements of truth that do fit with the person who is real. In that she has 2 children. She works in a firm, but there were also elements that were just complete fabrication. And what you found is that if you challenge them, they become aggressive back to you. And then you give them the fact. And then they just change the topic completely onto some other subject and just never go back to it.
Yeah, so real person was engineer. And this scammer described herself as owner of beauty salon.
That's right, for the last 3 years.
Scammer was in hospital, and the real person was actually in Amsterdam, and she sent you pictures.
Correct.
So this is guys starting to join, and they also had these experiences, I see. Hello, guys. Fascinating and heartbreaking. And we have another comment. Sadaya was on SofiaDate for a few months. Yeah, whatever you're saying, Adrian, is true. It's hard to believe ladies in yeah, ladies in SofiaDate. Yeah, he spent money. If you can write, Sadaya, how much money you spent on SofiaDate? Yeah, sorry. Okay. So this real person, real Natalia, her name is Natalia, yeah?
It is, yes.
How she reacted when she heard about this scam, that her pictures were used actually? What is her reaction? How
Well,
she explained this?
well, she couldn't explain it because, of course, she didn't know anything about it. From that point of view, it was obviously something that she'd never ever encountered. And the problem that you find is that she has a fairly big profile of pictures on her social media.
Yeah.
So it's been easy for them to cherry pick all of these and send them to you. But what they've also tried to do when this lady was trying to engage me further was actually sort of move into more pornographic discussions. And from that point of view, what they were doing was photoshopping her head onto another body. And from that point of view, it was basically anything to try and keep you communicating with them, because, of course, you're paying for this.
Yeah, you sent me this shocking, I would say, porno videos. We couldn't use them because a little bit.
Those were the mild ones.
Yeah. This is mild. Okay, so this is this is screenshot basically. If you guys can see, so body of 25 years old, and they saying it's
Well,
they saying it's hot sex. If you want hot sex, basically, guys, you can read. Of course, real lady, especially 66 years old, will never ever send something like this. Ladies that looking for husband. All this pornography.
This was on the 7th of October, which was 3 days after I met her.
3 days after. Yeah, what you sent today, we couldn't use because it was too much. We were shocked of this. So this is another level of pornography. So guys, of course, Ukrainian ladies that looking for husband never ever will send you any pornography, any pictures without clauses. It's not possible. And they will not tell you, of course, I love you, my darling, my sweetheart, that we see actually in your correspondence with with Natalia, with scammer basically that pretend to be Natalia. I wanted to show this correspondence. Yeah, I have a few screenshots here. So this is she is basically upset because you're not responding. This is one she's writing in capitals why you're not responding. Yeah, you probably found younger lady. That's the content you can read, guys. Because of course she wants you to open her letters and pay credits, pay money. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how they.
Yeah, and obviously the other element of this site is that you can only communicate with the individual through the site. What they did try and do was get me to take a compatibility test, a psychological profile, which basically was never ending and has hundreds of questions, which most of them were repetitive. And because I have a psychology background, I was quite interested in what they were doing. But essentially you pay, because they send it in a letter form, 40 credits to read it and then respond to it. And if that's hundreds of questions, you can see how it rapidly builds up. The goal of this is, at the end of it, they will allow you to get a Telegram telephone number so you can communicate with the lady off-site. But I checked the Telegram telephone number that I was sent, not for this lady, but for another lady. and that Telegram number is not used on anyone else's social media accounts. And I found the social media account belonging to this individual, and none of her friends have that telephone number logged in their address books, because we looked through all of their social media accounts as well. And the only telephone number was the one I found belonging to the real person. So effectively, it's a burner phone, or they've put in a SIM card for one person, and that is you, and nobody else can actually communicate.
Yeah, you will tell later, because with one lady, you're already communicating in Telegram.
Yes.
Yeah. We go to that.
But I'm sorry.
ahead.
I was
Go
thinking more along the fact that the site is literally just there to make money. It doesn't do anything else. However, one of the issues about not being able to communicate directly with somebody was, if you wanted to send them a gift, for instance, there is an element of the site where you can pay for a gift using credits, and it will be sent directly.
We have this screenshot from Adrian. Yeah, this is basically perfume, and how much is it, like cost in reality?
Well, the bottom right-hand corner, the Chanel Gabrielle, is £104 for 100 millilitres in the UK. But if you bought it using credits on SofiaDate, you would have to spend the equivalent of 400 and something pounds. So it's literally 3 to 4 times the price.
Yeah, and I heard basically, women, if they even receive this gift, they take pictures. This is women that get paid. Natalia would not, of course, because she doesn't know this is a real lady. But normally on some side, they take picture with a gift, and of course they don't have this gift. This is for you picture, so you know it received, but you send them this for £100 basically for a gift. That's how site make money. And look at this. They even want you to buy computers. This is crazy.
The laptop was interesting, because that's £360 in the UK for that particular model, because it's an older model. But if you wanted to try and buy it, it's £2,500 worth of credits on this site.
Yeah. So this is like normally these scammers started to tell, I don't have telephone, I don't have computer. Yeah, this is another stage would be, please buy me computer, telephone, so I can communicate with you. This is another.
When we discussed the other lady who I have spoken to on Telegram, that is exactly what came up.
She wanted computer from you?
Telephone. She was trying to drag me back to the site, because effectively I was trying to keep her on Telegram because it was free, and therefore we could communicate outside of the site, supposedly. But she kept sort of saying she couldn't use it, or she wasn't technologically minded. I have to get a daughter to come and sort something out. And then when that didn't work, the phone broke.
Yeah, of course. Typical. Phone broke. I need to go to doctor. Yeah, my mother is sick, or something like that. This is typical, like, scam expression that you hear on the site. Buy me telephone, buy me computer. Sometimes even I don't have telephone to communicate with you. It's like this. But of course, everybody in Ukraine, Russia, whatever, they have telephone or two, latest model. So, let's see what guys here commenting something. This is Sadaya. He spent $2,000 in few months. So okay, Bill. Videos, porno videos. It's a Bill. It's too mature. We here were in shock a little bit. We believe that YouTube will block us if we show in such videos. It was very,
instructive, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Instructive, but the SAM and all kind of porno stuff that, of course, 66 years old will never do. Even 25 will never send you something like that. lady with good morals that looking
Well,
for husband.
all of the people in these videos look as though they're about 22, not 66.
Yeah. This is young bodies, of course. Yeah, and Sadaya received nude videos on SofiaDate, and he was shocked. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we have here. So yeah, and this video that Natalia basically was on site. Let's see. It's like she's baking. So what do you
Yes.
think about this? Let's put it.
Hi.
Yeah. Well, do you have idea? This was on scam site, yeah, this video?
This was sent by the scammer. Now, obviously, it is the real lady in this particular instance,
It's her.
but most of these videos that you see have them saying one word, and it's usually hello. Beyond that, it's just a video of them doing something, but it's 50 credits to look at it.
Yeah. You know what I'm personally thinking? You know, maybe real lady, real Natalia, like 10 years ago, I don't know, she may be registered on some site, maybe she was single, she was hoping to find basically men. And sites, they asking to record some video, basically, like to show for men. And maybe this video was with English because she say hi. Maybe this video also was taken from different sites.
I would agree. I mean, I found her registered on a Russian site, Mamba, and that was in 2015.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So from that point of view, she could have been on other things in the interim period because she's widowed. But from that point of view, as I say, there is an awful lot of disparity between the photoshopped images and what they're trying to engage you with and the reality that the person is actually your age and not 20.
Yeah, and she was, you said she was on several profiles like scammers, right? Several sites.
Well, I found her on Mamba, which is a Russian site, and I've also found her is it VR, VK, social media site there.
Yeah, it's Russian Vkontakte. It's
Yeah.
banned now in Ukraine. We cannot use because of the war.
But from that side of things, as I say, there will obviously be more. It's just that I didn't bother going too far into this once I had sort of enough detail to be able to contact the real person.
You know, when I started, basically, guys, you have to read reviews about site before starting to put yourself there, to pay money. And actually, SofiaDate has bad review. It's most bad reviews. Many guys saying it's scam. And I found when I started to Google SofiaDate, I found this basically. I found this. See, this is site Ukraine Brides Agency, and they advertise all these sites. See, best Ukrainian dates inside. So this is site I believe that belong to their chain, let's say, right? SofiaDate is here, Amour Factory, Jolly Romance, Go Date Now, Bravo Date. See, yeah, Golden Bride. So all these paper letter site that scamming guys.
Well,
So,
I did a bit of research on that as well.
can you share, please?
So SofiaDate is based out of Cyprus and the US. and they have links to 684 other sites which are
Okay.
using a common database. So you will find models that are on one site transposed into another site with slightly different details. I don't have any examples to offer at this minute, but from that point of view, it looks as though basically it is a very well organized operation, multinational reach, and effectively what they're doing is creating new websites as they go along, populating it with the data they already have from other sites. And
Yeah, so
I'm not convinced that I haven't been discussing things with an AI, because some of the responses are very, very strange. They're not what you would expect a human to respond.
yeah, we have some comments. I will be putting comments sometimes, so we can not miss. Send money. This is Billy. Because of this porno pictures, please send money for clothes. This is joke, of course. Yeah.
Yes, because I don't think they want the clothes.
Yeah, for this 25. Usually women from around 20 to 65 text me. And Sadaya, what age are you? They try to initiate conversation and keep texting over and over again. And even if you avoid them. Yeah, of course. Doesn't matter age. That's how you hear from scammers. Age doesn't matter. This is typical like red flag if you hear this. But of course, age matter. Yeah. Ukrainian women, they're not looking for big age gap or something like that. 40 years old. Yeah. So from 25 to 65. Okay, and yeah, Adrian, and this is interesting how a lady wanted to come to you, basically, scammer. She wanted to come to you very quickly.
Yes. Well, what was interesting here, this is Natalia we're still talking about. Once we'd gone through a couple of days of normal conversation, she then introduced the idea of the pornographic videos and basically wanting to sort of move into that area. Then she introduced the idea that she would like to leave the country and come to see me. Now, at this point, I'd not been in contact for a day or two, and she was getting a rather sort of concerned, let's put it that way, as to why I wasn't online. And then she saw me. And as you can see from what's just been posted there, she was she was going to the USA to see friends and would like to meet me there, which of course was interesting because I live in the UK, not in the USA.
Yeah, I can read this. Yeah, my love, again, my love, because she doesn't know you. So of course, a real lady will not say you, my love. This is again, my love. You're online again. I'm so glad to see you. You are so principled. I don't know what is that. I miss you so much. She miss you already after a few days communication, and. Yeah, what you're saying. You know, I have friends. They are also in United States, and I could try to arrange to come to them to meet you. Can you imagine? I fly straight to you. Would you meet me? To the United States, yeah?
Yeah. Now, I did then raise the question with her saying, well, actually, did you mean the USA? Because I'm in the UK. And she then came back saying she didn't understand which USA I was talking about. Now, how many USAs there are, I don't know.
Yeah, this is second message. Basically, she's trying to go away from this uncomfortable, confusing situation that she mess up countries even. So maybe different people communicated, different translators were communicating in different occasions.
But what was interesting here was she started to, once we had established I was in the UK, she started to press the idea of getting a visa and coming to see me, and introduced the concept that her brother worked for a visa operation in, Ukraine. I think it was Kyiv. And what she didn't understand is I understand what the UK visa application process is. And it is not something that the brother could just organise for her, it has to go through two governments and all the other elements to do with it in terms of criminal records, bureaus checks, and all sorts like that. But effectively, what she was saying was, I've got a brother, he can organise me a visa, I can be there. And when I didn't communicate again for a while with her, and she got rather upset. And then I think I've sent you the other element, which is her suddenly telling me that her visa is ready.
Visa.
That was in the space of a day and a half, which is really good going, because I think normally you would expect a month or two before this happens.
Yeah, it's true.
And
so
I mean,
here in message, she already received visa, basically, and
now,
and she bought ticket, and she's flying to you already.
Yeah, but of course she still doesn't know where I live. She just knows I live in the north of England. So, but one of the things for those who don't know, if you're going to the UK under a visa scheme from Ukraine, you have to have a biometric check done, and that's not in the Ukraine. It's by a UK operation that's based in Kyiv. And the only way you can actually get the visa for the UK is to travel to Warsaw, and they will give you the visa when you're in Warsaw, in Poland. So all of this just does not ring true whatsoever. But she was obviously totally unaware of it, or whoever it is, because I suspect it might be a sort of grumpy old man who's sitting there on a keyboard churning all of this rubbish out.
Yeah, it can be man sitting and writing you these messages, having fun. Yeah, young boys.
Yeah.
Or artificial intelligence, also, I don't know, these days. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Adrian, and if the owners of SofiaDate was watching you right now, what would you say to him?
Well, I've already written it on the site, that this was a total money-making scam, and that I hate actually being on there, because what I was trying to do was direct the certainly the other lady that I was speaking to use Telegram. For about a week and a half, we didn't go anywhere near the site, which obviously meant that they weren't making money out of me. But I mean, from that point of view, whenever you think you're actually making any headway in any form of discussion, you get dragged back to the reality that you need to buy more of credits in order to continue, and you never actually get to the point. I suspect there is no chance of meeting any of these individuals, nor will they ever give you out any personal details, because the site does block any attempt to put your telephone number, your email address on it, and it appears to do it in reverse if the woman tries. So from that point of view, the only way you can get this is to pay for them to provide you with the telephone number for a Telegram account.
Okay.
However, with the other, sorry, I was saying, however, with the other lady, I did actually get a video conference call with her. So I know that the person on the site is the person I was speaking to.
So this is another lady. Olga. Yeah, and you got her Telegram. So you spoke on the site. How have you felt on the site? It was her really or pre-recorded videos, because sometimes I hear it was.
There was a lot of photographs and recorded videos, but they were similar to the one we saw of the lady cooking, where they just say hello and that's it. Most of the videos that she shared were without any audio. She wasn't saying anything. However, when I've spoken to her on Telegram, and we tend to text on Telegram more than anything, because she is an English teacher, but she teaches what she calls middle school children. So I'm assuming early teenage years English, and she's somewhat put off by speaking to an English native speaker because she is struggling. However, what I did do was get her to use I think it was Google Meet, which is like Zoom, and we had a video conference call, which proved that she was the individual in the photographs,
Okay.
and also that she was she knew who I was and she was talking to me. So from that point of view, I'm assuming that this individual actually is the person I've been writing to. However, I did have one instance where we'd been speaking for days on Telegram, and then suddenly on the website, she posts, "Why are you ignoring me? We haven't spoken for days." And I sort of went back and said, "What's going on? We spoke an hour ago on Telegram." At which point it was, "Oh, it's the translation that's gone wrong." And I thought, well, I checked the words, and there's no way they could have been mistranslated because they're completely different to anything else.
Interpreter would like to take you back to the site. Okay, so you communicating with Olga in Telegram, basically out of the site. This is good. And your correspondence, how is her English, by the way, for English teachers? Good?
It's reasonable, but obviously she doesn't do conversational English with a native speaker. But she can understand me and is able to talk to me. Sometimes there's confusion, but that's part of the fun of this.
Yeah, it's okay. And I see that you sent some screenshots about the discussion of her kidney problems, might be.
Yes, well, we were talking about, she was quite upfront about wanting to leave Ukraine and was wanting to come over to the UK, but that was probably 3 or 4 weeks into the conversation I was having with her. And from that point of view, everything was normal. And she said, "Oh, before I come, I want to have a full health check," because she trusts the health service in the Ukraine and not in the UK or any other foreign country. Fine. Anyway, as a result of this, suddenly she has kidney stones. And from that point of view, is saying that she has to have other tests and that she's worried, she's afraid of an operation. So we discussed this, and I explained that some operations using ultrasound mean that you don't actually have a physical operation as such. They use sound to break up the stones and so on. Now, she did ask at one point whether I would help her with this, but she has not got at this point to mentioning any cost.
So she already started to this.
She's introduced the idea that she has to have an operation, and she may need some financial help. But that's as far as this has gone. What I've done is obviously, unfortunately, what she doesn't realize is I've got a medical background. And so from that point of view, I wanted to see what the doctors had suggested in terms of if she needed a procedure, what medication she was being given, and so on. And as you can see here, she says in the middle here, "I've taken a lot of tests." There was blood, she means blood tests and everything else on it. I think you should entrust all this to the doctors. I don't think a detailed survey from me will solve anything, which is basically, she doesn't want to tell me any details whatsoever about this.
Yeah, about this.
One of the things that if she came on to the UK under a UK visa scheme, she will get free healthcare under the National Health Service. So she could have that procedure done in the UK. So at this moment in time, I'm waiting to see what the next development is, because no doubt she's going to ask for some money.
Yeah, you keep us informed. We are curious what will be. If this is a real lady, but yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, again, I checked into her. So I have her real telephone number, which is, again, on Telegram. I've got her background. I know where she was born, which was actually the other side of Kazakhstan in Russia. From that point of view, I know she's got 2 children. One's in the Ukrainian army, where the daughter is living nearby. She's an English teacher. So from that point of view, she also has a social media account on Viber, but hasn't used it since the beginning of the war. So from that point of view, there is an awful lot there that says this is a real person with a different surname to what she's given me. So from that point of view, when I asked her what her surname was, she told me one thing. But when I said, "Oh, isn't it? I think I found you," and gave her her real surname, she said, "Oh no, that's from a previous marriage," which is interesting because these websites still have that name on, and they're only 2 years old.
Yeah. Okay. So site doesn't check basically women or, you know.
Well, I
Real
don't.
information.
This one is slightly different to the Natalia one, in that this has been has been more normal in the
Yeah,
conversation.
less scammy.
And
I mean,
well, no, I
you
think the scam is slightly different. I think
keep
because
talking
I'm
to
not.
her and see, especially you're not paying anything in Telegram anymore. But of course, if this kidney topic will continue, and of course, if she asks
Yes.
money, be careful.
Yeah. Now,
Because this is next steps can be.
Yeah. Well, this. I mean, Natalia is funneling everything through the website, and from that point of view, I'm paying the website to talk to her. Whereas this one is looking as though she's asking for money for an operation, but that will be completely outside of the website. So I'm just. I'm interested to see how this develops.
So this is viewers commenting that Ukrainians are master of lies and fraud. Guys, you have to understand, women sometimes have no idea this is stolen pictures. Women have no idea, real people, that this is going on. It's a bad scam site. They can be located anywhere. They just they scam. You can
Remember that this isn't a Ukrainian site. This is a
it's
site
not
based in
even
Cyprus.
Exactly, it's not even Ukrainian site. So this is good Ukrainian ladies are not liar. This is site that even not based in Ukraine. This is site liar. And interpreters talking. They pretending to be Ukrainian ladies. So that's how it is, in most cases. Yes. Good. And Adrian, how did this scam affect you emotionally after you understood you were scammed?
Initially, I was quite sort of upset about the fact that I thought I'd found somebody and I was developing a relationship with them.
Yeah.
But when I started to investigate it, I became more intrigued as to how they were doing it and what they were doing, and then what mistakes they were making, because it became more and more obvious that things were actually not fitting together well in terms of what I was seeing. So from that point of view, I've gone from being sort of quite concerned about where I was to I want to find out a little bit more about this and find out exactly
you
where
became
it's going.
curious. You became curious and started your own investigation.
As I say, yes, I became friendly with some international hackers. And from that point of view, I can now find out exactly what is behind this and whether or not these are sort of real people in real situations or whether it is the site that's doing it. And as I say, my suspicions are that there's an element of AI on it, because somebody can't be on the site 20 hours a day. I mean, it just isn't logical.
Of course, a real person that has her life will not be sitting 24/7 on the site and talking to you. She has things to do, especially if it's night
she's
in
working.
Ukraine. Working, children, hobbies, everything, especially if it's night. If you log in at night, it's supposed to be night in Ukraine, and they all, of course, online. And they're very interested to talk. They're supposed to sleep.
But you see, what is intriguing about Olga is I asked, she wanted to see where I lived. So I sent her a photograph of the house, and she quite liked it, but then again, she would. I then asked for a reciprocal tour of her apartment, which she eventually did for me. And from that point of view, it again was the correct person showing round on a video, because she has mirrors and you can see that she is the one doing the filming and doing everything that way. So this one is slightly different. It's not a straightforward fraud. This might have an element of truth to it, and it might just be a naive person who's doing it. But it's still, she's trying to drag me back to using the site because she tells me that Telegram is broken.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe it's interpreters, that working on the site, because they operate in profiles of
oh yeah, no, I agree. I mean,
of women.
Whenever you're texting, you've not got a clue who you're responding to, because it's a text. I mean, if it's a video call, slightly different. But in this instance, she tells me that she doesn't want to use Telegram because she has to translate everything and then cut and paste it. Now, Telegram has an automatic translation mechanism.
Yeah, but she's English teacher, sorry.
I know.
Okay.
But as I say, I mean, the fact that she's trying to tell me that it doesn't have a facility to translate, whereas the site does. I'm thinking, no, actually, it translates it better than the site does.
Yeah, this is interpreter, I believe, telling you. He doesn't have maybe even idea that maybe you exchange contact, Maybe you're talking with real Olga. Let's see. If she will not be asking you money for kidney, again.
As I say,
You can try,
I'm going to follow it through just to see exactly where it goes, because at the moment it's not costing me anything.
Exactly. And please share with guys, what are 3 biggest red flags that helped you to realize it was a scam?
The speed at which the conversation developed, I think, is the key bit. First of all, when you see the profile photographs of the ladies, you expect them to presenting the best possible photographs. So you expect it to be airbrushed, and you expect certain sort of changes from reality, let's put it that way. But in terms of the conversation that I was having, within 24 to 36 hours of starting a conversation, what you were beginning to get was being dragged into more romantic or erotic discussions, which then suddenly became more pornographic. And the whole idea behind this was they might send you 5 or 6 videos, which might cost you 50 or 60 pounds, $100 to open. And that's how they're sort of pulling you in. And that's what made it a little odd. And therefore, that's why I started not opening the videos. And what was interesting was they know I don't open the videos, because they came back and saying, haven't you opened my videos? And I used to say, yes, I have, which left them nowhere to go. But they were obviously aware that I hadn't opened them, because they were asking me why I hadn't. So I might read the letter for 10 credits, but I wouldn't open all of the videos. I just opened some for examples so I could show you. But unfortunately, they're too X-rated. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, very photoshopped picture, this is red flag. Then very sweet conversation leading to sexual, basically pictures and videos, very fast. Yeah, what else?
And also the fact that depending on when you were talking to her, whether it be sort of late at night, early in the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning, you might feel as though she doesn't remember what you spoke to her 6 or 7 hours ago about. So effectively, it's almost as though, is this the same person I was talking to earlier on in the day? Which again leads you to wonder whether there are multiple people responding.
Yeah, so people kind of forgetting about conversation, different translators working probably. And of course, a lady will not be corresponding with men in the middle of her night. Yeah, so this is like red flags that guys have to.
The other thing that was something interesting was it was often, I was told, they were having problems because of the air raid or the internet was going down. So one of the things I used to do was I'd look for somebody in the same city on the website and see whether they were actually on. And what I often found was, for instance, one of these ladies lives in Odessa. And so I thought, yes, okay, I can understand they could get lots of air raids down there. But when you find another person from Odessa who's still on the internet, and you're being told by the person you're speaking to that they can't communicate with you because the internet was down, you know that one of them can't be correct.
Okay, yeah. And Adrian, if you could go back in time to before you started this communication with ladies on SofiaDate, what would you tell yourself then, based on your hard-learned lessons?
I didn't go on SofiaDate looking for anyone. I came across it by accident. At that stage, I was looking for someone from the Ukraine, Eastern Europe, and I was looking at various sort of profiles that were on the Google in terms of what you've just shown. And you read some responses, and the part of the problem was that SofiaDate's responses are very good on certain websites, and I'm assuming that's because they own the website that's doing the profile review for SofiaDate. So of course they say that they're good, and I didn't at that stage.
I found actually bad reviews, many bad reviews.
Oh, no. I'm saying that they are there. It's just that when I looked at sort of best websites or best dating websites or whatever, they're always high up on that profile. And I'm assuming that's because the reviewers are part of the same organization, and therefore they're giving themselves a sort of good mark on Trustpilot or whatever. So I was there by mistake, and I was actually leaving when I came across the first profile of the lady, Olga. And from that point of view, I just thought, well, I'll start a conversation, see where it goes. It was then after that that I got inundated by everybody who wanted to think that, you know, I could understand it if I was a famous movie star and had great looks. But no, you know, not getting 300 people all wanting to chat because they think I'm beautiful, lovely, handsome, whatever. You know, it just isn't realistic. And to be honest, if I'd have known what the site was like at that stage, I wouldn't have gone there. It was purely a mistake, and it was purely very sort of, well, when I found the profile of Olga, it was something that I'd been looking for, but I was just about to leave when I saw it. So that's when I looked into it. But the other thing I must say is when you read the biography of the individuals, they look very similar in that the creative hobbies are always very much the same. They love nature and love cooking and so on. They've all got master's degrees unless they're undergraduates, which is possible. But when the original lady, Natalia, is an engineer, having a master's degree in humanities isn't the sort of fit you would expect. So it just looked a bit odd from that point of view, almost as though somebody had written 50 of these one after another and just changed them all slightly. But the main theme was always the same.
Yeah, and what would you do differently if you could do it all over again, like you search?
Well, I wouldn't do this. I mean, I came across Match Guaranty when I was looking through the bad reviews, because once I started down the process of investigating these people, I thought, well, I'll go a little further, and started to look at things and came across Joe's video. So from that point of view, I would take a completely different approach, which is a pay for speaking or pay for contact site like that is not going to ever produce the results that you expect. I thought it might until it didn't. If you see what I mean.
Yeah, you tried. It's long. You learn your lessons.
Yeah.
And okay, and yeah, you was mentioning about match guarantee. I just would like to show guys, guys, you can come to free, absolutely free Zoom consultation with match guarantee. It's a matchmaking agency, international matchmakers. Yeah, and agency has a completely different approach. To matchmaking. You can read reviews, you can do your research. Agency has very good reputation, and you will feel difference between women, how they communicate. Women will not be asking money, pictures not photoshopped, all that kind of stuff. And lady, if lady is interested in you, she would like really to exchange contact. She would like to have direct communication with you. Nobody wants to stay on the site or communicate through the agency for a period of time. So please, if you would like to find a real, genuine Ukrainian lady, please register and for free. And we will discuss basically what possible for you, and age difference. We discuss zone of success for you and see if Match Guarantee can help you. Okay, thank you. And another questions. What words of advice do you have to help guys basically through healing process? To encourage them, to those guys who use scam sites.
So, sorry, what advice?
What advices do you have for those guys who use in scam site and they kind of discourage? They said they.
Well, these sites are designed to keep you there. This what you call sticky. So from that point of view, whenever you try and disconnect, they will come up with a different idea. I mean, one of the classic elements that I've seen on the one with Natalia, for instance, is if I get angry and tell her that this is a scam, etc., you would expect somebody to be equally angry back because they are real people. And when they don't, they come back with either a completely different conversational line. So it's completely sort of at odds to whatever you've been saying. Or they try and shame you into apologizing to them for accusing them of doing it in the first place while they're still doing it, which is a classic technique. But I would suggest that any time that you have to sit and pay to talk to somebody and you can't get a proper communication with them like this verbally or with a video chat preferably, so you know that who you're speaking to is actually the person you want, don't go near the site. I mean, seriously, it is just there to make a small group of people somewhere in a different country a lot of money.
Thank you, Adrian. And what were the 3 biggest lessons you learned from going through this painful experience?
Right. The first one was to check out, using reverse image searches, the individual that you're speaking to, because their profile pictures are there, and some you can use various sort of proprietary products to look at a reverse image. But what I found was they don't necessarily cover Eastern European areas. They work in the United States, they work in the UK, Western Europe, but sometimes they don't. So that's why I engaged with, and everybody can't do this, but with some hackers to actually find out exactly where they were. And from that point of view, it's amazing how much information you can get as to, I even know where the telephones were registered or the SIM cards that they used but were registered. And from that side of things, what I'm saying is basically check out the individual before you spend anything like a serious amount of money, because you need to know that the person you're speaking to is actually real.
For sure.
And this is where this is not a sales pitch for Match Guarantee. Please, it isn't. But what I am saying is they
Yeah.
at least put forward real people with a real background, and they do their own checks. And you
Yeah.
can also, guarantee, you can rely on that, whereas these sites don't. Because what I've found is they just
Yeah.
clone somebody else's details, stick it on their site, and you think you're talking to them.
Yeah, if you don't know women, that's why Match Guarantee not working with any sub agency. We're very careful who we accept,
Yeah.
basically, because we're checking like documents of lady, do background check and interviewing them, and women come by recommendation in most cases. Yeah, so
Yeah.
very, very careful.
So, I mean, from
Women
that
should be
point,
genuine.
yes. Well, this is what I was saying. I mean, essentially, I've learned now that I will check who I'm speaking to, but at
And
least I
very,
know with
yeah,
Match Guarantee and the ladies that we've been discussing separately.
and plus we have feedback from our clients, from
Yes.
Match Guarantee clients when they talking to ladies. So we should not hear any, feedback like lady asking money, for example, because this is not what good Ukrainian women doing. It's even shameful,
But you see, the whole point about SofiaDate and sites like it is they need to make money out of you quickly, because they know at some stage you will rumble that they are a scam and will stop. So they've got to make as much money out of you as they can, as quick a time as they can.
Yeah. Anything anything else that you would like to add to guys, or maybe guys have some questions?
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah, please, Adrian can answer you. Guys, you can type in chat so I can show your questions.
I think the key thing is that when you are engaging with anybody that you don't know, because you're not physically there in a one-to-one situation, you must at least, at a minimum, have a video conference with them to make sure that the person you're speaking to is actually the person you think it is.
Yeah, this is women not paying for credits. No, of course, it's men. It's designed to scam men, these sites. But actually, there are tactics of scammers to scam women, but this is different story. I hear like, all this, contacting ladies in Facebook and everywhere, men that, somebody in army, US Army, please help me, I love you, So I heard these stories, and women sending money even. It's a lot of scam, unfortunately, these days in internet, and just have to be careful.
Well, I think the other thing is the way these people approach you. I mean, as I say, I've had over 300 chat requests, and they are not slow in telling you exactly what they want, which is usually to meet you and jump in bed straight away. And you think, well, hang on a minute. If you're here to look for somebody for the rest of your life to marry, why would you be interested? You might,
Yeah.
Draw your own conclusions.
Yeah, exactly. Lady would like to get to know man before coming to him, or normally meeting, like in Match Guarantee, for example, meeting happen normally, man coming to lady. It's like this. Normally lady not coming to a man for first meeting. It's very rarely happen. In most cases, it's you coming. Of course, now it's war in Ukraine, so meeting happen outside of Ukraine, in Poland, for example. Yeah, but you invite lady basically to take train or bus and go outside of Ukraine to see you. Yeah, so these women that already flying to you to US or UK, yeah,
yes.
without talking to you, like video chatting, anything, they're already ready.
Yeah.
Paul. Yeah, this is Paul. Yeah, Paul, his wife from Ukraine. Unless men are willing to get on the airplane and meet the women in person, they're just wasting their money. Now, of course, your relationship start from the point when you meet. This is counting point of your relationship. Before that, all this communication, WhatsApp, Viber, you have to meet. If you feel warm communication, just organize meeting. Then you will feel real connection. Yeah, see real person and decide if you want to continue relationship. Yeah, okay. If guys, you don't have more questions, we will thank you to Adrian for sharing his story, because hopefully it will help some guys, to avoid these painful mistakes and save some money also, and emotional damage, which is in most cases happen. Yeah, thank you so much, Adrian.
Okay, thank you.
I wish you a wonderful day. Yeah. Bye bye, Adrian. Bye bye, guys.
Okay, bye.